Our topics tonight are, as you can see, the number 4. 4 marks of a church and 4 last gifts. Okay, so when you started looking at the Catholic Church and thought like, okay, maybe I should look it up, maybe I should check it out. Let me just make that call or email, and let me see how I get welcomed into this program. So hopefully you got a very welcoming message from me or from the receptionist or from somebody in the church. Okay? Maybe you just started coming and then you liked what you saw. You liked the liturgy. Or, God forbid, a Catholic said hi to you. Right? So we're always being accused. Nobody says hi to me. Nobody acknowledges I even exist. Because in other churches, it is true. We should learn from them. You're a mile away and they're all like this, right? Welcoming you and just so warm and just so kind. But in the Catholic Church, you go and then you go in and out and nobody even smile. Did you experience that?
Mm-mm.
Not at St. Anne's?
No. I think everyone here has been awesome.
But we're always being accused of that. And sadly, yes, there will be places that are like that. Well, the thing is just that we're so big, right? Sometimes we're just so big. And then I always say, if you say that, nobody said hi to you, I always ask, well, did you say hi to anybody? Right? Because, face it, this is a reality. You can't be the center of the universe everywhere you go. Sometimes you too have to step out.
Right.
And then maybe somebody wanted to say hi, but your body language was, your face was like this. Your body language was so close, like, okay, I don't want to be bothered. So even if they wanted to say hi, they stopped. Right? So before you accuse somebody of something, again, look first at yourself. Yeah, you may be a shy person, but it can't hurt to, just be open to somebody that might say hi. How does it takes more muscles to frown, to pout, than to smile? Did you know that? That's a scientific fact. So please, all right? You gotta be Catholics. You gotta be the first batch of Catholics that says hi to everybody, because all the other Catholics don't do it. So you're gonna be the first ones, okay? Now, so why did you even think of checking out the Catholic Church? Because you like the liturgy, you read about some saint, and you read about some theologian, our biggies, and you're going, wow, this makes sense. This is so good. Why hasn't anybody told me about this? And then you discover, after you finish a book, you see it, look at the back, you go, oh no, it's written by a Catholic. I didn't think they were capable of this. I didn't think they were capable of the truth, knowing the truth, and articulating it in a way that makes so much sense. Okay? So, if you're looking for the perfect church, good luck, right? Because we are made up of people. We are all sinners, and if you're looking for the perfect church, so you go and join them, well, lo and behold, it's not perfect anymore. You just joined it. Laugh, I guess. Nobody laughs now. But it's Jesus become perfect since you just joined it, if you found it. Okay, we're not in heaven yet. But when we say it's a perfect church, it's because the head is perfect. The head, Jesus Christ. Okay, so you have to look for some marks. If you're going to join a church, you're going to start looking, shopping, you go, I like the music. I like the preaching. I like this, and this. Okay? You have to have some criteria. And so we do have the 4 marks of the church that you look for, because the church Jesus founded, if you're looking for the church Jesus founded, it has to be one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic. Apostolicity holds together the other three marks. It has to come from Jesus to the apostles to the rest of us. Is there any other church that can claim that? No. We can trace our popes from Peter down to Pope Francis. And we say that our Bishop John Dolan is a successor. We had this topic before, papacy, right? Is a direct successor of one of the apostles. Nobody else could claim that. If they claim it, you got to investigate, and then you find out, no, it stops somewhere. You cannot claim a direct succession from our Lord, from his apostles. It has to be Catholic, which means universal. The Catholic Church is found in every continent. Yes, there are still places that have not been catechized or have not heard the gospel. That's why we who are baptized have the duty to go out and proclaim the truth. There are still places, yes, but the only church that can claim to be in every continent and every place you could think of is the Catholic Church. It's still the largest Christian church because it's the first Christian church until breakdowns and schisms happened. But it was the only Christian church existing until I said the schisms and the breaks happened in the 1500s. By the way, when Jesus was still walking on earth, there were already little, sects and little groups coming up anyway. Okay, so it's not new that we'll have breakups, we'll have different groups, breaking up from the original. The Lutheran Church, Luther was a Catholic, remember, the Catholic monk, and he broke away instead of staying and helped to reform the church. He broke away, started his own, and within 50 years there were 50 other groups that stemmed from that. As a present-day Lutheran, and Luther will turn over in his grave when he finds out what this Lutheran is preaching. Okay, it's not original anymore. It changes. This Catholic Church does not change, and that's why it's universal. We are so united that I think I've told you before many times that we follow one book for our readings for every Mass. Weekend Masses, daily Masses. One book in all the world, in every Catholic church. So at a given day, the same readings, Pope Francis at the Vatican, and in Nigeria, and in Japan, and in Germany, or every other place where there is a Mass going on, it's the same readings, the same gospel for the day. And because there's different time zones, there is a Mass going on every hour on the hour, maybe even 2 or 3, every hour on the hour. So the prophecy in Malachi is being fulfilled, that from the rising of the sun to its setting, a pure oblation, the pure oblation is Jesus Christ, is being offered. Okay? So this is being fulfilled literally. Nobody else can claim that. So this church preaches something else this Sunday, and 5 blocks away another church preaches something else that they think is important, and then 6 blocks away another church is preaching on something else. We learned already that when we had the baptism class, even baptism, somebody teaches this about it, the other one, and the other one, nobody is united as to what baptism really is except the Catholic Church. We're so strict on what Jesus said that it has to be the right formula, the right words, right? The right matter. What do you use? It has to be followed strictly for it to be valid. See, that's how united we are. That's why we need an authority. Otherwise, you have 40,000 denominations, you have also 40,000 popes, right? 40,000 popes, and another 40 million teachings, because each one has 20 different types of teachings that are completely different from this other church. You see what I'm saying? So it's not going to stop. Every 3 weeks, every 3 months, somebody's setting up church somewhere, calling it a name, claiming to be the biblical church. And somebody gets dissatisfied, goes gets the Bible courses, and he starts up another church in a suite in a mall somewhere. Okay? Catholic Church, you go, any tribe, any, area in the world, mountains or whatever, remote areas, even in China, underground church, hello. The Mass is going on, the preaching is going on, Eucharist is going on. Same teachings. Some disciplines might change, but those are not doctrines, they're disciplines. But the doctrines, teaching will never, ever, ever, ever change. You can trust it. So what you're learning now will be the same thing your great, 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 great grandkids will be learning when it's their time. So you can trust that. You can't trust that with any other church. The teaching will change depending on the new president or the new leader, the new preacher. That will depend on him. But here, the Pope, the apostles, the bishops, successors of the apostles, are guardians of the deposit of faith. So, it's holy, Catholic, one holy Catholic and apostolic, one church, not 40,000. Okay? Anyways, apostolicity holds together. Apostolicity is the guarantee of the one true church in which our hope for heaven may be assured of reaching its goal. Every bishop has a responsibility to teach the truth, and he delegates the priests in the parishes then to teach the truth. Okay. So, it has to be one, holy, Catholic, and apostolic, 4 marks of the church. Also, Bishop Sheen has a teaching in his one of his talks. He says, you're looking for a church. You have to, for the true church. And that's the one that Jesus established, right? I keep telling you, you got to be ready to be, the cross isn't here because Mary is here. We are doing Advent with Mary. She is also waiting, right, for the coming of the Savior. Anyways, so Bishop Sheen says that you are looking for a church that was mocked, persecuted, hunted down, and burned, churches and all that. Why? Because the head was persecuted, was mocked, was nailed to the cross. That's the church we're looking for. Then you're not looking for a church that will conform to you, your wishes, your desires, your brand. You're not looking for that church. You're looking for a church that you will conform to. Because it has the order, it has the faith, all those marks. You will be guaranteed that your soul will be saved. If you just, the Lord said, follow my commandments. Where do you find them? Where do you find the Beatitudes, the blueprint of the Christian way of life? The Beatitudes, all the teachings. See, we do the whole Bible, not just parts of it. And we have tradition, sacred tradition, not just parts of it. We have the whole enchilada. Don't get half of it. Get all of it. Right? Our saints, Saint Therese, my own saint, she was given a choice of all the toys that she could, pick one toy for Christmas. You know what she said? Greedy, glutton. Saint Therese said, I want all of it. That's excellent. And God tells you pick one or pick what gifts you want, you say all of it. Why? He's not limited in his generosity. I want all of it, Lord. All of you. You're the ultimate gift. I don't want just that. I want all of it. And then guess what? In his wisdom and his mercy and his compassion, he wants you to have all of it. But he knows when and how much and what you need for now. See what I mean? Here's the principle. If you're asking, somebody for, I want one thing. And then when you don't get it, you go, I only asked for one thing and I didn't even get it. The trick, everyone. The trick is ask for 5 or 10. If you get 1 out of the 10, you're still a winner. See, when you're asking for just 1 or 2 things, you have to increase your odds. That's a good principle, isn't it? When it comes to God, that works. Asking for everything, Lord, I want everything, which is what? I want you. You are everything. Guess what he said? Seek first the kingdom himself, and the rest will be given to you. See, there's the trick, everyone. Ask for everything which is him, and the rest will be given to you. You thought it was so selfish. I'm such a greedy, gluttonous person if I wanted everything. No. Leave it to God, who is not limited in his generosity, and then he will give it to you. He will give what you need, when you need it, and how much, and by whom, if he needs to use somebody else to give it to you, or a circumstance in order for you to get it. Leave it all to him, surrender in prayer. It works, it works, it works. You always get what you need, and it's always at the right time. Okay, if you just surrender. Give up your control, because his plan is always better. So this comes early in Genesis. God promises Abraham he will multiply his descendants. Have you ever thought about Abraham? He's 90 years old? And Sarah also about 90, whatever. Then she doesn't get pregnant until later. And then she's old. She's old. They're beyond childbearing years, right? And then he gets promised that his descendants will be as many as the stars. I mean, put yourself in Abraham's place, right? And Sarah. You know why Isaac means laughter or laughing? Because when they told Sarah that she was going to bear a son, she laughed. Because how can I be? I'm too old. Da, da, da. She knows the facts of life. And then when Isaac was conceived, it's laughter. She was laughing about the whole situation. How can this be, right? So, God is a God of miracles. Okay? So, look for this church, one faith, one church, one baptism, and unity in the blessed Trinity. Look for the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Okay? The right meaning, the right definition of Trinity, which is 3 persons in one God. Okay? Sear that in your mind, okay? Not 3 gods. 3 persons, 1 God. And one of them, the second person, has 2 natures, human and divine. He is a human, he is a divine person. Okay? 2 natures, human and divine. The Holy Spirit did not become man. God the Father did not become man. It was just God the Son. Okay? But remember those things, they're very, very basic. You're going to be a Christian, Catholic Christian, you have to know the definition of Trinity. You won't know the whole definition and understand it, but 3 persons in one God. No other distortions of that truth. Okay, any questions so far? One Holy Catholic Apostolic. Look for that church. Okay. And Jesus established it. He prays for the apostles that they be made holy in the truth and kept from Satan. See, that's another reality. If this is the true church, then expect it to be attacked, expect it to be maligned, expect it to be, people lying about it, distort its image, right? Expect it to be attacked by the enemy. I keep telling you, when you first started and on your Catholic journey, your journey to Catholicism, that you've probably observed or experienced some things already that are trying to distract you from this journey, right? Things escalated in a way, right? Because the enemy, once you decided you want to become a Catholic, it's kind of like putting a bullseye behind for the enemy. So he knows where you are, what you're doing, he doesn't read, he cannot read your mind, but once you try to get closer to Jesus, to the church, to his family, the saints, his mother, etc., and then get close to the Eucharist, the enemy works overtime. You have to be aware of that so that you know how to fight it and how to protect yourself. Protection from Jesus, from the sacraments, which is why they're so important when you receive your sacraments. Okay? They are established, by Jesus, so that we need those to, aid us in our salvation. He gave us all the tools, and he gave us all the graces through the sacraments. Every sacrament comes with grace. Your holy sacrament of matrimony came with graces for you to be a good husband and a good wife, and then a good parent. Those are specific graces for being a spouse and for being a parent. Okay? Every sacrament gives you sanctifying grace and the other graces that you need to fulfill your mission or your state in life. Okay? Everything. Those are the sacraments are the ordinary paths or the ordinary channels for grace. Now, can God cause lightning or infuse knowledge in you or just snap his fingers? Of course he can. He's God. But the ordinary way that he gives graces are through the sacraments. Okay? Questions so far? So you are journeying to the church, the true church. Remember that. Lynn.
When you think of, okay, I'm starting on this journey, and then I'm there. That doesn't mean the devil stop. It just means, I know to go after. So it's a lifelong thing.
Yes.
In marriage, in friendship,
Yes.
in everything. It's important to remember that Jesus has to be in front of you, behind you, on all sides.
Yeah. Well, look, all these things will happen anyway, whether you become Catholic or not. It's life. All the suffering and all the other stuff that goes on in life. But being Catholic now provides you with some of the tools, the protections, the prayers, the saints, the angels. Not that they were not working when you were not Catholic. But now, guess what? You're aware of them. Now you can cooperate with the grace. Now you can, where before you were not aware that these graces were happening. You were not aware of all these helps. There are a lot of helps which the Lord provides, which you were not aware of. But only, that's why we say, the fullness of the faith in the Catholic Church. This is where you find the fullness. You find the tools, the graces, the helps, the sacraments, obviously. This is where you find it. So you are on the right track. But be faithful. Do not give up. Yes?
I just want to kind of reword that. So, like Aurora said, life's going to happen. Like Lynn said, it's a lifelong journey. But the point is that life's going to happen, and good stuff's going to happen, and bad stuff's going to happen. But the church helps you handle it well. It gives you the tools you need when, we all know life happens, right?
Yeah.
So, life can happen and you can just like curl up in a ball and shrivel up, or you can let your light shine even brighter in that life happening. And then other people can say to you, oh my goodness, look at all of this is happening all around you and you're coping with it so well. And you say, it's my Catholic faith. And then it gives you that opportunity to become the evangelist
Yeah.
You know, and that's what Satan wants to keep down. He wants to keep down your light that you get in the midst of life happening.
Thank you for that segue. I was going to talk about that because the two commandments summarized, right, is love God first with all your mind, heart, soul, and strength. And what's the second? Love your neighbor. So people say, as long as I have Jesus, so it's Jesus and me, I'm fine. Wrong. Okay? You're supposed to go out. What did he say? Baptize and evangelize and baptize all nations. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. Tall order. How much do you love yourself? You're supposed to love your neighbor as yourself. So again, like Amy was saying, you can handle not only your problems, but now when you handle your problems and you have the help of the church and all the tools, etc., the prayers, the graces, all of that. Now you are going to be the best minister or the best help for somebody else, your neighbor, who is dealing with the same thing you dealt with. Now, who's the best one to help that person? You, who have already been there and done that. So see now, you love God who helped you, saved you, and helped you through all your problems. You discovered how to do it, when to do it with all the help that He's provided. Now you can help the other person. Now you can really say, I'm loving others, the way God told me to. Because we also have that thing where if you cannot love others whom you see, how can you love God whom you cannot see? See, I always tell you this is the final exam. You get into judgment, you're in front of the judge. Jesus Christ, the King, is also the judge. And you're going to be asked, like, your whole life will flash in front of you. And we are told, and from the next topic, we have the 4 last things. That's the final exam, is you're going to be asked, how did you love? Did you feed the naked? Did you feed the hungry, clothe the naked, visit the sick? And you go, Lord, when did I do this? And He says, when you did it to the least of these, you did it to me. You see? You can't go and clothe God. Is invisible, His spirit. But you can clothe your neighbor and feed your neighbor. That's where even Paul was told, when he fell off his horse, on his way to persecute Christians, the Lord appeared to him and told him, ask him, Saul, why are you persecuting me? He didn't ask him, why are you persecuting those Christians? And he said, why are you persecuting me? Same thing. Whatever you did to those, you did to me. And when you did not do to those, you did not do to me. That's the final exam. How did you love? Okay, take that to heart. Right? This is the essence of charity. Charity, the same term, means love. How did you love? That is the main question. It's not how many cars you got, how many houses, how did you live that, how famous were you. Okay, sure, you are a public figure and you helped a lot of people. Yes, I will look at all the good works. And it's not just faith now, but faith and works, which is another thing we're accused of, right? You're all about works. Look, what fuels the work, what gives it energy, what gives it life is your faith. So if you're giving something but without love, that doesn't count. Mother Teresa and all the saints, what do they say? Do every little thing with great love. Sure, you gave out millions, but there was no love involved, and that was millions worth, by the way, your excess. You didn't even miss that, right? So the Lord will bless, all those people that were helped. But He will look in the judgment time, He will look at your heart. What was your motivation? You were giving out millions, but you had a TV camera spotlighting you, right? When you were giving this. What was your motivation? Or it was a tax write-off. Got you there, right? What was your motivation in giving this? Remember that story about the widow's mite and the person giving a lot of money to the church? And the widow gave her last penny. That was her sustenance, and she gave it. The other one was giving something that he doesn't even miss, because that was his excess. What did the Lord say? This was more valuable, the one that came from the person's sustenance. This is our last penny. She did not know where to eat the next meal. Where is it coming from? But she gave it. That's what the Lord sees. How much love did you put in this little thing that you were giving or little thing that you were doing? Okay, so these teachings are Christianity. These are the values, the tenets of Christianity, but they are so emphasized in the Catholic Church. Catholic Church, the biggest charitable organization in the world. No question, look it up, it's a fact. And others partner with us. Why? Why are we the biggest? We're the most efficient because we've been doing it the longest. Since the first Christians. Been doing it the longest. That's why others of other faiths partner with us. They acknowledge that, no question. Okay? And we're not doing this because a lot of times we're not in front of the camera. We're not in the newspapers. Where do people go, first of all, when there's disaster, when there's fear, when there's problem? Where do they go and run to? They go to the church. Is that in the papers? Is that on TV? No, it's not. But that's an absolute truth. I'm talking about Catholic Church, Christian Church. You know, the first responders are not the Red Cross. The very first responders are the church. Catholic, Christian, whatever, is the first people that go and help. They don't need cameras. They don't need reporters to follow them around. They just do it. You have to acknowledge that. They're not in the papers. And then you have all bigger organizations. They do something, but it's all published. It's all, everybody has to know this. We have the churches, the small ones, big ones. They don't need all that publicity. They just go and do the work. Period. We don't need publicity. You know why? Because all we need to know is that God sees what we're doing. We don't need other people, the whole world to see what we're doing. God sees it. I'm only, concerned about how God sees me. He's the one I'm pleasing. He's my Lord and Savior, therefore I serve my neighbor. Okay? Your motivation counts. See, your motivation here. This is what's very important. Okay? So change your motivations, purify them. Purify the motivations, your intentions. That's a secret to being on your way to holiness. Okay. Questions? None? Need a break? You need a break? Yes, okay, go ahead. We'll take a break. We'll do the 4 last things next. Wow, heaven helps. Big topic.